Hello, Jack Keifer here with a tip on beefing your conversion rates on your websites with self-optimizing web pages. So how does a web page optimize itself? Well, with a testing technique called multivariate testing. Multivariate testing is done with software designed to allow you to automatically test different versions of various sections of your web page. So let me clarify this a little bit using one of my own websites as an example. Here at AmazingCloaker.com, you're looking at the headline portion of my website. Your headline is a critical element to get your visitors to stay beyond that 3-second event horizon, so to speak. Usually a visitor will hit their back button within 3 seconds if you don't pique their interest somehow. So you see why the headline is so important? Anyway, the sales page is made of different components like the headline, subheading, bullet list, main body, guarantee, call to action, and buy button, to name a few. Scrolling down, we'll move through the different sections of the sales letter. Now with multivariate software, we can create different versions of each of these sections and test which combinations of these versions give the best conversion rates. Every time one version of a section scores higher conversions, it's tested against other sections of the web page more often. Every time you make a sale, your web page is constantly refining and improving itself. I'm going to clear my cookies here and refresh my web page. This will cause a slightly different version to load. So let me refresh. And okay, here we have a new version of the page. The headlines stay the same. Scrolling down the page, there's various paragraphs that are slightly changed, but not really too big a difference here. So let's go ahead and refresh this page again and see if we get more dramatic results. First I'll clear out my cookies, and then we'll just hit the refresh button again. And refresh. Okay, it looks like we still have the same headline. That could mean that this particular headline is creating better conversions. But this is interesting. Here we're now seeing extra graphics relating to the Amazing Cloaker. Now testing these graphics against nothingness is also a variable, and sometimes less is more in a sales page. So always consider testing something against having nothing in its place as well. Okay, let's do this one more time. We'll clear the cookies again and refresh the page. Okay, this time the headline has changed. The headline was scoring pretty high in the beginning of my testing, so I really was thinking that it was going to show up first. But scrolling down, there are additional changes that you would note in various sections of the page. And it looks like the extra graphics are gone again in this version. So it's possible that the graphics are actually scoring lower and that nothingness is winning out. Okay, so probably the next question you're going to ask is, what software did you use and how much did it cost you? Well, that's a great question. So how does free sound? That's right, I simply used a free tool compliments of Google called Google Web Optimizer. You can just go out to www.google.com/analytics and log in using your AdWords credentials. If you don't already have a Google account, you can just sign up here as well. So let's get logged in. In Google Web Optimizer, you create what are called experiments, which are the multivariate tests that you set up for your website. And as you can see here, I have a few experiments showing, but only one is active. The other two are abandoned first attempts while I figured out how to use it. So here are the current stats for each section of my web page that I have set up for testing. Each section here shows what percentage of the time they were used when a sale was made. It's pretty useful when you want a quick overview of what's working and what isn't. This way you can continue giving the non-producing areas additional tweaking to get everything up to peak performance. There's just literally thousands of combinations that your website will display automatically when your visitors come to your site. So okay, let's take a look at my conversion stats for the month of July. I started this around July 5th, so my conversion rates are showing for just over a month. Now to track your sales, you set up what are called goals, and then you paste some JavaScript into your thank you page so it will track. I forgot to add in my goal values, however, so they're showing 0. Normally you would put in your net profit here and then it would calculate your visitor value if I understand it correctly. Now let's take a closer look at the stats so far. As you can see, I didn't put a whole lot of effort into traffic generation this month, but my conversion rates are pretty decent. My average conversion rate for the month is calculating at around 4.37%. Now let's click on a more detailed chart, and here you can see that I started July at 4.5%, and the multivariate testing itself cranked my standing to 9%. Not too shabby if I don't say so myself. With an impressive 9% conversion rate, I could confidently employ my traffic strategies with paid strategies if I chose to do so. Now there's other great premium packages out there for multivariate testing. For example, Keifer is a software that I've used for quite some time. It's a little pricey, around $500, but it's well worth it. Another excellent multivariate software is called Multivariate by James Browse, and right now it's only selling for $100 because Multivariate 2008 is about to be discontinued. But from what I've heard, Multivariate is a kick-butt multivariate software that will even calculate your visitor value. So now there's really no excuse for not tracking your results. Tracking and refining are vital components to getting the most out of your business. If you ignore this step, you're leaving thousands on the table in lost income. And besides that, how would any potential JV partner take you seriously if you didn't even know your own conversion rates for your products? So also remember that you don't have to have your own product line to do this. If you're an affiliate marketer, for example, you should be testing your affiliate landing pages as well. So if you're not testing your pages, what the heck are you waiting for? Jump out to google.com/analytics and get started now.